In the beginning was the Word, and the great God that writes it. To speak it, he created the MC within his likeness. Life was good in the lush garden of MC. Minds left about naked and shameless, in total freedom. They came to drama. The industry serpent created verses. MCs exploited the art at the face of an earning. Some facts that lay uncertain regarding the whereabouts of the first ones to fall the frontiers called the sellouts. But back to Genesis, year zero, otherwise 1979, the turn of earth when the curtain of hip-hop would rise, right?
Right? Let me see. No, not quite, cause some of history's darkest shadows came from the light. Born an MC, but feeling the greed to be something great. For the fame and fashion bitten by his creator. Taking his teeth deeply into the juices of serpent contracts, the pen fell from his hand. There was no turning back. The sky darkened. The MC, now banned from the garden, walked aimlessly through the deserts of fortune, fist hard, and then taking a final glance back at his choice, he realized that he had gained the attention, but lost his voice.
Remember, the deepest shadow cannot rest in laziness, nor be kept as a blanket upon any hints of radiance. For nestled deep within the concrete, farther than greed can sink, there was an Easter egg, the hash to unfold, a sermonless king. Rolled by word from the soul of his halo right to his toes. His voice, wrapped in his splendor, only spoke to expose. He walked across paper, gathering all folks from far, teaching these MCs abroad through their own hopes and scars. And never has the hip-hop world seen his own hardship. Then when the master recalled the scent of the long-forgotten garden margins, he taught to shatter. So artists can fight with chapters and sing. He even purified the venom to use as ink.
But that which once was, so shall be in the end. And the purified pen soon returned to poison in the hands of men. The ground trembled. The army of shadows assembled its soldiers and marched towards hip-hop and its 13 strongest supporters. And as the culture preached conclusions, ripping a page from his binder, remember the soul of hip-hop when you touch the paper fibers. Then raising a pen above his head, he let ink spill through final lessons. When you touch the pen, remember the intelligence behind expression. And with that, hip-hop dropped his mic for those to wish to follow, and sacrifice his pen and pad for the MCs of tomorrow. Betrayed by greed and left to bleed by mankind's seventh shadow. To the average eye, it would appear as if hip-hop had lost this battle.
And ain't that just like a pyramid, if only somehow it could speak? What would be anything if each step was a print lost in the breeze? For deep inside the heart of hearts, awoke his voice in the flesh. Yes, the king is risen, shouted the few believers left. It was a time of darkness, that doubt ceased to make a profit, and the serpents tried to market his soul, but they lost it. Followers themselves were scattered in chapters of saltless taste, when upon a pen and paper the MC revealed his face. A new dawn for stretched skies took a shape in their eyes. By new ways the conquered lives have been safe away in the shade. Only for moments the king stayed, you enrich on the rigid page, till that day we ascended his words, saying that he'll return. He said his life is in the faith of the culture that'll replenish, and it breathes in the hands who fearlessly write his sentences. And so it was, he rose, breaking the canopy of clouds, leaving trails of doubt and faith, doubt and faith.
Sky of blackness, sea of ashes scorched by serpent matches, mankind's attachments holding them captive in false enchantment. Man walked the burnt surface, desperately searching for life's purpose. The Pope's pupils dissecting chapters in a search for missing verses. The average step was hesitant. The world's MCs retired their restlessness when they realized their rhymes held more question marks than sentences. But in the second millennium, in a town of just under 1 million, yellowed scrolls uncovered ancient texts of universal brilliance. Suppressed for years by industries and those afraid of change, the scriptures were kept from the public eye until today.